In San Francisco, a series of breakdowns and glitches at Muni is fueling talk that it might be time for a change in the transit agency's management. Night Beat's Joe Vasquez on the recent problems and the demand for action. Hey, Joe.
Brian, I can report tonight that all the trains and buses from Muni are running just fine for now, but for how long? There are questions tonight, though, about the management of SFMTA and how well they are managing what seems to be one crisis after another. Yesterday's meltdown was mega, even for Muni. Some train lines stopped running for much of the day.
30 minutes from door to door, and it took an hour.
The delays were major.
It just seems like it's acceptable that it doesn't run on time, that it doesn't run at all, that it's...
And is it acceptable?
No, it's not acceptable.
It wasn't just yesterday's issue. There are the doors on the new trains. When a lady got her hand caught in one, it dragged her down below the platform. Incredible that she survived. Then there's the shear pin situation. These pins are supposed to connect two train cars together, but at least two of those pins have been found to have broken off. That prompted officials to stop doubling up new train cars altogether. On top of all that, a whistleblower tells my colleague, Susie Steimel, that he was pressured to pass people who are unqualified to operate on the railways. He says it's putting public safety at risk.
I was pressured into changing evaluations and omitting certain mistakes from the evaluations.
In a blog post, SFMTA blamed, quote, decades of underinvestment for chronic infrastructure failures. In a tweet last night, Mayor London Breed said, quote, yes, we need to invest in Muni and our system. Yes, we need to expand and improve our fleet. But what happened today and this week is unacceptable.
This is not a funding problem. It's frankly a leadership problem.
San Francisco Supervisor Aaron Peskin says Muni needs to get faster and stronger in its response to problems.
Things happen when you have a complex system. Things do break down, but it seems that the cascading number of events and the way they've handled it, the way they've handled it with the media, the way they've handled it with public officials has left a lot lacking.
Peskin says he's had several conversations with fellow supervisors over the last 2 days. There are no specifics yet, but they're talking about changing the way the SFMTA board is structured.
It's time to have an oversight body that asks the tough questions, that doesn't just rubber stamp what staff brings before it. It's time to have strong leadership, and it's time to have accountability. And ultimately, who's accountable to the voters? They're elected officials.
So to be clear, Peskin and some of his colleagues on the board are talking about changes to the board structure of SFMTA. But what about the manager himself, Ed Reskin, the man in charge of this agency? Well, Brian, no one's really quite saying this out loud except perhaps the mayor, but his term runs out in August. His Muni pass is probably going to be revoked. It's not likely he's going to hang around.
I guess we'll see. In San Francisco, that's Joe Vasquez. Joe, thank you.